بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن يعمل من الصالحات من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فأولئك يدخلون الجنة ولا يظلمون نقيرا. Today was the anniversary of demise of al-Mu'mineen Khadijah al-Kubra alayha afdal as-salatu was-salam, that has passed in the year 10th of Bi'atha, 3 years, as far as I remember, if I'm not mistaken, before the hijrah of the Prophet. Therefore, we have dedicated tonight to speak about women's position in Islam, and also we will use al-Mu'mineen Khadijah alayhi salam as a role model for the dedicated and devout Muslim ladies. As you know, that there are many people who criticize Islam and Muslims altogether for the fact of humiliating women and giving them a second-class citizenship role in Islamic society. They level their accusations on that women are deprived in Muslim society, they have not reached their rights and their desired status and position, and basically treated with humility and not up to what they deserve and what they have been. And in fact, this issue of women has been a platform for others, and especially the Orientalists, scholars, media outlets, authors, to level their attacks against Islam. And they accuse Islam both in terms of scripture and tradition of Muslims that have incurred injustice against women throughout history. One of those scholars, and his name is Bernard Lewis, he accuses Islam that women in Muslim society is even less inferior or more inferior than a slave and non-Muslim. According to him, a slave in any society, in any Muslim society that is deprived from ownership and freedom, can gain his freedom and can gain ownership and everything once he's set free. So if he's set free, then he becomes a free man. And a non-Muslim, if he's deprived of anything, he will gain all of those rights when he declares his Islam. But the problem stays with women, that they cannot change their status, and always they are considered to be deprived. What is the answer? The answer, brothers and sisters, to many accusations, I should say with hate or with regret, that unfortunately many accusations are true. Women have been subjected to humility, unfortunately, to degradation and indignity throughout history. And this is not only, exclusive of Islam, rather throughout entire history, women have been humiliated, their rights have not been given, and they were considered to be second-class citizens. And Islam also, the Muslim society also, is not an exception. But what we have to do here and what we have to learn is that there is a difference between Islamic traditions or Muslim traditions and Islamic script, Islamic holy law. There we have to make the distinction. When you look at Islamic or Muslim traditions, you will see all kind of injustices, all kind of deviations, not only pertaining to women, to many social aspects. Look at the governors, for example, the rulers. Do they adopt the true Islamic system? Are they fair with their people? Do they help to bring justice in society? The treatment of us, members of community, with each other, is it according to Islamic laws? Absolutely not. You have a totally different set of traditions, and you have a set of rules that have come by Islam. And we should not deny that women have been subjected to suppression by the name of Islam at different times of history. But when we look at the scripture, the Holy Quran, or the tradition of the Prophet, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, or the A'imma alayhim as-salam, we see none of that exist. In fact, it was very fair and very nice. The problem, brothers and sisters, comes from the tradition. And the tradition had a precipitation of Jahiliyyah. People are not willing to change their thoughts, their intellect over time. It takes a very long time for people to get acquainted with new ideas. The Quran says when you discuss the issue of unity, God's unity with people of the pagans, once you prove it to them and convince them that there is no Allah, there is no God but Allah, what do they say? They say, إِنَّا وَجَدْنَا آبَاءَنَا عَلَىٰ أُمَّةٍ وَإِنَّا عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ مُقْتَدُونَ. We are following our forefathers. It's something that has stuck in their brains and their hearts. Therefore, it is so difficult for them to change. And I have to say it here regrettably, brothers and sisters, that many of our traditions, our customs are Jahiliyyah, from ignorance. We only by name, we say that Muslims. We say something, but in practice, we practice something completely different. We preach, but we do not practice. And this double standard exists in every Muslim society. Therefore, you see injustice has arisen against women, against other weak groups in the society, and sometimes it takes the name of Islam. It tells you by the decree of the mujtahid, by the decree of the person who gains the higher status of, faith and religion in the society or in the country. By the mufti. The mufti would tell you this has happened and you have to abide by the rule without any question. Unfortunately, this has come from our traditions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling the Prophet, peace be upon him, tell him, when you deal with people, be just, a just ruler. Deal with them based on fairness. خُذِ الْعَفْوَ وَأْمُرْ بِالْعُرْفِ وَأَعْرِضْ عَنِ الْجَاهِلِينَ. But when the Khalifa comes and somebody tell him, fear God, have taqwa, he says, if any of you tell me that I should have taqwa, I will behead him. Al-Hajjaj ibn Yusuf al-Thaqafi one day given a sermon, Friday sermon, and it takes longer than usual. The time of the Friday prayer was passing, getting to Asr. One old man stood up and told him, Ya Khalifa, oh you the king, don't you start the Friday prayers? For how long do you keep talking and continuing your sermon? He said, take this man. Yes, he said it right. كَلِمَةُ حَقٍّ يُرَادُ بِهَا بَاطِلٍ. This guy wants to denigrate me. Behead him. A ruler, Khalifat Rasulullah, will behead someone in the masjid to tell him that, finish up your speeches. So which one of our traditions complying with Quran, with Islam? None. We have traditions versus Islamic teachings. And there is a huge difference among them. There is a huge distance